Hi, we're the Snowballkickers, and over the last few years we've been making a series of films that challenged ourselves and the audiences watching them. We thought we'd revisit them by getting back some of the actors and creatives involved for a chat. Keep watching after the film for this fun and fascinating discussion. This is It's a Dog's Life.
Hi, Mr. Jones.
Hello, Rose. I see you haven't got away for the summer holidays then.
Well, I've got some work to do on my dissertation and it's not going to write itself.
I don't suppose you could do me a favour.
Oh, yeah?
You know Bruce?
Your dog?
Yeah, that's him. Well, I've got to go away on business to America. And he was going to go into kennels.
Right.
The thing is, he's not very well. I don't think it's right to leave him on his own for 2 weeks. I don't suppose you could just check up on him, say morning and evening?
Me?
Yeah. Just feed him, make sure he's okay.
Well, is he friendly?
Oh, yeah, he'd love to see you. He's really good company.
Well, I can't see why not. When do you leave?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, first thing, 6 a.m. departure. It's all been a bit of a rush. Look, if I leave all his food and anything else he might require and drop the key through a letterbox later.
Okay.
Lovely. Thanks again. Got a dash. Got to do some packing. Thanks again. You're a lifesaver.
Bye. Oh, damn it. Bruce! Where are you? Bruce! Well, there you are.
Portdown Veterinary Practice. Alison speaking, how can I help?
Hi, I don't know how to say this. I came over to feed my neighbour's dog.
Yes?
And he's dead.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Have you notified the owner?
Oh, that's the problem. I've tried calling him, but he's left his phone here, and he's abroad in America, and I have no way of contacting him.
Ah, right.
I can't leave the dead dog here.
I've thought about burying him, but it just doesn't seem right. I thought you might be able to help.
What's the dog's name?
Bruce.
Mr. Jones's dog?
Yes! Oh, do you know him?
Yeah, such a lovely dog, what a shame. Just a minute.
I've just spoken to the practice manager.
And she said that if you can get the dog here, then we'll take care of everything until Mr. Jones is back. Are you able to get Bruce here?
What time do you close?
7.
All right, I'll try and find a way to get to you.
Okay, great. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Everything okay?
Wrong platform.
Do you need a hand?
Oh, no. I'll be all right in a minute.
Come on, I'm going to the other platform anyway. Let me take that. Come on. God, that's heavy. What have you got in there?
Oh, just books, clothes.
Are you sure it's not gold bullion?
I just need to pop to Lou. Do you mind if you can...
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so that's It's a Dog's Life. Darren, let's start with you. Where did the story come from?
I was talking to somebody, and he said, "Oh, have you heard the story about the dog?" And I went, "What story?" He said, "The dog in the suitcase." And then he proceeded to pretty much tell the story as we presented it. I said, "Well, that's got to be a myth." He goes, No, it happened, apparently it happened down in Plymouth." And I said, "Well, what happened to the dog?" And he goes, "Well, no one knows." So anyway, when I came to do this script, I did quite a lot of research. It turns out that this is an urban myth because it's happened in several towns, in several countries. So it seems to be one of those stories that just seems to be in the general consciousness.
A friend of mine I used to work with did actually come. She looked after her friend's cat for a week, and she had that dog when the friend came back from holiday saying, "I'm sorry, your cat is dead. It died while they were on holiday." So it's, there's something in the ballpark of reality going on here. It's got that kind of Tales of the Unexpected feel to it. That, particularly the fact that the dog dies, there's that bit, and then you go on to it being stolen on the train station, I believe. And there is that lovely sense that the audience are ahead of the curve, that they're ahead of what the characters know at that point. What would you say were the challenges in filming this for everybody?
Well, I think working with the dog, it was very well trained. It was, I think it's the most dog I've ever come across, really. It's so well behaved, and wasn't it a national winner at Crufts? Very talented and can learn, new tricks if you're given enough notice, like a few weeks, wasn't it?
Most remarkable was the fact that she taught the dog to respond to a different name.
Yes.
That struck me as real intelligence. The dog had to respond to the name Bruce rather than Skiffle. She said she took her 2 days for the dog to be able to respond to either name.
I found it remarkable that the dog could play dead so well. You lifted up the paw and it would drop.
Yeah.
Like lifting of the head or moving or anything. It just literally was like down. I thought that was pretty cool. So that dog was better than some actors that I know.
Also, you worked on a railway station as well. What were the challenges in that?
I felt sorry for Jim. I mean, he had a heavy suitcase, and you take off to pro. Let's do this.
Physical comedy is a lot easier when the props are doing half the work for you. That suitcase basically threw me across the stairs when I was running down. I'm thinking as in character that I was carrying a case full of loot. But the prevailing memory for me on that day was when we got to the original station we were going to be working at, and there was a train literally stopped across the tracks, and obviously we've got all these gorgeous shots in the film from one platform to the next over the tracks, and we were ready to pack it in. We thought we can't do this. It was Matt who had a word with one of the staff there on the day and asked if there was another station we could film at, and he said, "Yeah, you can go to Winchcombe Station."
Wow!
And so we hopped in the car and followed him, and it was 5 or 10 minutes down the road to find this other station, which was even prettier than the one we were originally going to be filming at.
It was really nice.
It was perfect, and he and the rest of the staff were fantastic, really accommodating, and I enjoy looking at a passing steam train probably a bit more than I should admit. So it was actually just a really lovely scenic day's filming.
So we were able to have pretty exclusive access to both sides of the platform when we needed it. We just had to agree to move for 20 minutes when the trains came through, which was fine.
You planned it for the other station, so in a matter of the time that it took you to get to the new station, you had to replan. Was it difficult? Did you have to change the shots and things, or could you do more or less what you planned to do?
I think the new station actually made it easier, to be honest with you, because there was more space, wasn't there?
There was more space. The platforms were wider. The bridge, I think, was on the other, effectively was on our right rather than our left. So I just flipped the shots. The actual station kind of waiting area on the other side of the platform was just beautiful. And they even opened it for us so we could go in and use it. Even the end shot when the car zooms in and zooms off, we just wouldn't have been able to do that at the other station because there just wasn't anywhere for that. You know, we could actually see the whole of the station.
Sorry, wasn't the car zooming done at the other station though?
No,
Was it?
no, it was all
it
the
was at
same
Winston.
station.
Really?
Yeah, you did the shots.
You know
It
what?
was
So early in the
Matt-
morning, I don't think I remember.
And Jim only just managed to get in the car in time before I hit the accelerator as well.
Matt, our resident cinematographer and stuntman.
Didn't you come within about a foot of the camera when you did the final?
It's in the lay-by.
To aid the comedy of the suitcase, we'd put in some heavy weights. I think it's something like 10 or 15 kilos.
You got 10 kilograms. Use my kettlebells.
Kettlebells in. So we ended up using them as guides for Matt. So there was the camera, then the kettlebells at a safe-ish distance in front of the in front of the camera. And those were the marks where he had to stop the car. So the first take, he I think he chickened out a little bit. He was thinking, "Oh my
Yeah,
camera."
stopped about half a mile up the road.
Yeah, it was a long way away from these kettlebells. So I said, "You know what? You're going to have to do a little bit better because you're not in frame and you're not in focus." So so he nervously approached this and hit the marks perfectly. But because I'm sitting behind the camera, which again is a daft place to be, and I honestly thought he wasn't going to stop. I thought he was going to hit me because it realised that the camera and the kettlebells were really not that far apart, about 2 meters. I mean, that's taking your camera into your own hands, isn't it? You know, it's breaking 2 meters in front of your really expensive camera. We did a blog about this on the website, so you can watch this.
Jim, had you worked on film before?
Oh, not for a while. Not since I first came to London in around 2008, where I was part of a short film group that, you know, we did a few bits and pieces, and I've done sort of summer courses on film acting back in Adelaide. But it had been a long time. I'd sort of only just started getting back into acting and mainly doing stage stuff. So, you know, it was an opportunity that I jumped at when Geoff, you introduced me to the Snowballkickers, and you know, I met Darren and Imogen and Matt, and we all just got stuck in.
That's because that was your first day, wasn't it? The day at the railway station.
Yeah, it was my only day on that shoot, and it was eventful and a lot of fun and very scenic.
It was a lovely day out. It was really nice. It was good working with you as well. So.
Right back at you.
There you go.
As with all of the films, they have a kind of a twist to them, and obviously, the twist in this film was the fact that the dead dog was then stolen, and this is the part of the urban myth that has never ever been described, because in every story that I read, no one actually knows what happened to the dog. And obviously, when we came to put the script together, this lends a problem of how we end the film. Because obviously we could have ended up with sort of kind of Imogen at the station going, "What's going on?" But I think it would have robbed the film of that real comedy moment. That's a bit of a tragic moment. It's a wrong tone to sort of finish the film on. So then there was this idea that we'd introduce kind of Matt's character as the stunt guy and have Jim and Matt actually go off, stop somewhere,
One of
and
those,
then see what
let's
the
see
loot
what we've
is.
got moments.
Yeah, because obviously the script kind of says, "Oh, what have you got in it?" She goes, "Oh, just books and stuff." And he says, "You sure it's not gold bullion?" So we're kind of setting up there's something in there, and obviously Jim thinks they've got, you know, perhaps a student's kind of, you know, sort of possessions, and there's going to be something in there. So the simplicity of that final shot of us having the camera inside the car and lifting the boot up, and actually having the camera itself inside the suitcase and it lifting up, and without dialogue, just the two of them looking at each other, is one of my most favourite comedy moments ever.
I have to say it's my favourite shot in the film, even taking into account how beautiful the scenery was at Winchcombe Station. that shot when the boot of the car opens, and there we are. And Matt, your face is sort of burnt into my retina from the way we looked at each other when filming.
I think it's the end shot where he's like, and he sort of turns away, and you're still there, like.
It's like, how do you say what the without saying what the?
Yeah.
And the bizarre thing is, I think it was from because I don't know how, it couldn't have been from the actual dog itself because we didn't shoot that bit until 2 days later. But there's a hair that was just dangling out of focus on the suitcase lid. So when it actually comes up, you just see this hair, and I remember you saying, "Oh, we've got to reshoot the hair," and I'm thinking, there's something slightly morbid about the fact that there's a hair. You just sort of see, and it just makes it more real. But I guess it's beautiful for the audience to sort of imagine what would happen next. Like, you know, if you were in that position and you open up, a dog is the last thing you'd expect to find in that suitcase.
Absolutely.
And I think that the simplicity of that last scene kind of takes the urban myth, and that's the original bit that we put on the end of it, I think. And I'm always really, really, really pleased we did that. It was the only scene of the film that Imogen wasn't in.
And it's the best bit.
It's the best.
What does that say? Great.
Well, I think that's wrapped up our little discussion of It's a Dog's Life. And hopefully everybody enjoyed it. And if you want to make some comments, comment
plenty
below.
there. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Imogen.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.